So we're going to be covering listing presentations and how to get those created. This is going to be a valuable tool for you as you, again, go on to listing appointments. We can also do our buyer presentations today as well. In either case, it's the exact same process. It's just one is for buyers and one is for sellers. Okay, so there's two spots that you can find these. There's some that Keller Williams Realty International, KWRI, has built within Command. And then there's some that we have built on our own site. We'll go over both of those today. And then we'll turn the time over to actually going and creating those. Again, this is something that you should have printed in a folder ready to go at any times because you never know when you're gonna have the opportunity to go on a listing appointment. So we're gonna start first with our internal ones because I really like the ones that we've made. So there might be a more streamlined way to find this. I know it's on your 30, 60, 90. So I'll level with you. We need to condense it a little bit so you can find it just a little bit easier. But I'll make sure you guys have access to it all. Okay, so just follow along for now. So this is our hot links page. This is basically what we tell the entire office. Like this is our one-stop shop for all resources. So it's a little bit hidden. So I'm going to kind of take you through this. Again, it is on your 30, 60, 90. So you should be able to access it pretty easily. But I'm going to come down here to Westfield HQ. Okay, click on Westfield HQ. Come down to new agents. And you'll see that we have this value library. Okay, so I'm going to click on value library. Click on it. Okay. And I could just send out just this, but we're going to be in the lead generation and marketing. So I'll just send you guys this link directly, okay? But marketing materials / Canva templates, and then the link. So anyway, it's a whole process to get here. But presentations. Yep. Okay. Then we get to this. So this is a platform that we have all built out. It's just housed in an interesting spot. I think that we could actually directly send you guys to this site. So I'll connect with Ritz and see the best way. He'll probably send it in the if he's on, he'll probably send it just in the WhatsApp group message. But in any case, you'll want to reference this. Okay. So these are all pre-built Canva templates. Yeah, marketing material. Let's see, where are we at? Yep.
Right here, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And then I went to marketing
Yep,
materials.
click on it.
Watch, I just went here.
Now scroll down. Click on Canva templates.
Yeah.
Click link.
Oh, the link. Okay, because I was like hanging out
Yep.
and I'm like, it does not look like yours.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it still doesn't look like
Lead
yours.
generation right there. And then marketing materials.
So which one?
And then Canva
presentations
templates.
that were up?
Then link.
Go to the present. Mine still doesn't look like yours, but okay. I do not have access to this. Oh no,
I don't know why yours doesn't. That's weird.
Presentations.
Yeah, and then presentations right there, Leo. Right there. Yeah. So scroll down, Chris. Oh, you got it? Perfect. I don't know, Melissa.
No idea.
You've never seen that before. Are you in are you on Chrome? Are you on Chrome? That might be why. That might be why. So I think everyone besides Melissa's here, right? Good. Okay, cool. So we'll streamline that process a little bit more. That's like 10 links, so I know that's a little jumbled. It's just because we had a lot of stuff that we all put into one spot, and we need to still streamline it a little bit more. But okay, all of these on here are Canva templates. Who here has used Canva before? Right? Hopefully all of us. It's a really easy kind of marketing platform that you can kind of customize different pieces for yourself. So you're welcome to come in here and kind of, go through all of these. You notice that we've got, at least right here, we've got two. We've got guide to selling your property and then seller's resource guide. I'm going to click on guide to selling your property. Just going to click on it. And you'll notice it takes me here. A template created for you. I'm gonna use template and new design. It'll make you sign in, so go ahead and sign in. We continue with Google. Okay. So hopefully we're all in Canva at this point. Did you guys get in?
Yes.
Well, this is different than this is different. You're going into the design center, Melissa, which we will go into. These are Canva templates that we built. So we'll get okay. Well, let me. I think it's got to be your browser because all of us got access to it. No, it's fine. I'll have Ritz send out the Canva templates in the WhatsApp group message. Okay, if you can airdrop it, that's great. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here. Okay, Canva is like super straightforward. Okay, if you never use it. What's up, guys? Ariana, Connor, hey guys. Okay, come take a shot. See you guys. I'll catch you guys up in just a second. Okay, I'm gonna get them going on it, and then I'll sit with you guys and get your going. Okay. Cool. So let's look back up here for just a second. Okay, so this is the Canva template. This is super straightforward, okay? All you're gonna do is you're gonna go through today and start customizing this to you, all right? I would say don't reinvent the wheel. Use like as much of the default as possible, but go through and update, right? So there's spots where it says client name. Obviously, go and update this for your client. If you had one of these like on hand, just printed, maybe just remove that or something, right? So you can have just a generic one if you happen to like just need one on the fly. But you'll notice too, what we're gonna do is also gonna go change. You'll see this, right? So you're gonna want to come in here and obviously update all of this information to reflect your information, right? So come in and just add everything. Okay. There shouldn't be a lot that you have to edit though, besides just the spots where it says your name. I think that, see, I don't know. Yeah, there's only 2 spots that you need to go and update your name. So we'll have you guys do that. And then quickly, let me show you how you do a photo, okay? So you're gonna wanna click on this. Hopefully you guys have a digital photo of yourself. You're gonna click on uploads, and let me show you this first, and then you do it, okay? Click on uploads, right? And then it's actually really easy. So let's say that this was a photo of me, okay? So I just clicked on it, it put it on there. You usually can just drag, let's see, you should be able to just drag it right over that. Do you see that? How I just literally drag it right over the face? Oh. And then you can just edit it and adjust it, right? Okay. So pretty straightforward. Yeah? Everyone on the same page there? Okay, cool. Okay. Okay, for those that just came in, guys. So what we're doing, Connor and Ariana, you're following along. You're good. Okay. So we are working out of our. I'm gonna have Rit send it. Are you both in the WhatsApp group? Is everyone in the WhatsApp group message? Who isn't? You guys are. Okay. Did Rich just send it? He's so amazing. Thanks, Rich. Okay, so in the Ignite group message, Rich just sent the listing presentations and seller presentations. So we're gonna be working out of those and updating our presentations. Okay. I'm so proud. Okay, we're gonna work on it for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna switch to another thing. Okay, so give you guys 5 minutes, get that updated. Yeah, that's what you're needing. Good. Let's go. Good. Okay. Yeah, I'd go over these. Yeah, and really go over this too. Like I'm sure Angie will do some training on it, but you want to make sure that you like have a good flow to your presentation, that you're not just like opening to the page for the first time and reading it in front of your client, right? So like there's this right here, you see this 3P method. This is a joke. You don't want to act like this says most agents put a sign in the yard, put it on the MLS and pray it sells for top dollar. That's not what we do. Okay. So don't go present this to your client like, this is my marketing strategy. Look, I have the 3Ps. Like, this is a terrible marketing strategy. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't practice on your clients. Okay. Practice with each other. Okay. Just going to give another minute, and then I want to show you guys one other resource that you could do this in as well. Yeah. Yeah. You can customize it. Let's see. So yeah, so it's yeah, you can make the circle bigger. You could put a square on there, but since it's built as a circle. Yeah. Well, actually, they have the buyer consultation. Let's see what the resource guide is. Yeah, I think that's the same thing. Yeah, they're the same. So you can work out of either one, just whatever you prefer, just different styles. One is vertical if you printed it, the other looks like it's horizontal. On Canva or on present. Scroll down.
Okay, there you go.
Mm.
There you go.
Yeah, just click on it. See if it's just the cover. See if the cover's wrong. Click on that one. I'll message Ritz. Okay, I'll have Ritz update that. That's a great. Hey guys, Melissa just asked a really good question, whether to do paper or digital. If I always have a printed one with me. But if I'm here at the office and I feel pretty confident using the text, like you want to make sure that you don't just sit down in the conference room for the very first time and try and do a digital presentation, okay? Because that's going to get awkward in front of your clients if you don't know how to use the text. So have a printed one ready. but obviously a digital version is just as convenient. So it's totally up to you. So great question there. Okay, we're gonna hurry and pivot just for a second. So I'll have all eyes up here, please, just so I don't have to go through it more than once. Okay, you also have another spot that's really cool that you can edit designs in, okay? Obviously, we have some pre-built ones that we really like, but you can also go to KW Command, okay? And if I click right here on, oh yeah, let's turn it down. No, it's okay. It makes it easier, we can. That help? Okay, so we're gonna click on the Designs applet right here within KW Command. Okay, Designs. And then we're gonna go to Create Design at the top, okay? Create Design. We are gonna do a print. Click Next, okay? And then you'll notice KWRI has also pre-built a ton of different resources in here as well. So I'm gonna hit this drop down. You see this, there's a listings one, okay? I'm gonna click on listings. And then listing presentation. See that right there? Click on that, okay? And then you have a handful of pre-built ones, just like the ones that we have on Canva, okay? But now this is all within KW Command, okay? So just another spot where you could get more designs, more ideas, so you could mesh with them. This is actually the very first one that I ever used, this one right here, and I used it for a while. So if I click right here on use. What's this?
On the designer thing that we're trying to follow you, we're getting the sign in there.
When I'm here, yeah,
Mhm.
designs.
Mhm,
Design,
print.
Print, we're getting the sign in there.
Okay, it's possible that it's just, yeah, I've never seen that error before, so it's possible that KW Command is just down right now on some accounts. Okay, it must be down on some accounts right now. Okay, but they'll get it up. But is this at least like straightforward enough that you guys saw where it was? Do I need to go back over that? Yeah. So I just went to the designs, create designs, and then this is very similar to Canva as well. So you'll just want to come play around with it, but you'll notice like it's a super straightforward process as well. So I'll just go through the listing presentation. Totally depends on you and what content you have in there. What you're going to want to make sure though is that it's pretty hyper local, right? So you're going to want to make sure that the information is up to date and reflects like, you know, what's going on. And like, so like if you'll notice like on this one, this is a specific one, right? So listing presentations, I'll level with you, they're a little bit more specific than buyer presentations, right? Because a buyer presentation could be pretty general about what's going on in the market. A listing presentation, like you'd ideally know their property, right? You'd know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, and you would actually come with like a tentative CMA, maybe already built out. Angie might go over this with you guys, so I don't know. I'll let her teach you that kind of stuff. But in my opinion, when I go to a listing presentation, I'm already gonna have, you know, the CMA ran. I might even have a preliminary a preliminary title report done by the title company, depending on how serious I know the seller is, right? Like I might do some of that legwork and bring that with me, okay? So you'll notice you could even come in here and you can pull off Google, like a photo of the home, put in the address, right? Based off of just like a preliminary conversation or any information that was passed on to you. So you're gonna wanna make sure that these are a little bit more specific. Now it may make sense to also have one that is just like totally generic, that just kind of goes over your listing process, okay? That is just like, we'll get photos done, we'll go to the market, we'll negotiate offers, we'll put it under contract, we'll work with buyers doing due diligence, right? So just go through and just tailor this to you. Yes.
My last client, one was a digital, one wanted paper.
Yeah.
One wanted paper, one wanted digital.
Yeah, I would just have both. The good news is though, once you kind of get used to building these out, it's a pretty easy process. Okay, so just go through, and like I said, there's a ton on here, so I would just spend some time today, going through and getting these built out, and then have them ready to go because you're going to want to practice them. Again, like one of the most interesting things in the world is that like agents will practice. Like if you think about your clients, right, and we think about them as people, sure, but at the end of the day, that's a commission check, right? People that are looking to buy or sell. You're not going to practice the very first time your listing presentation for $10,000 on the line, and you're going to go practice it for the very first time in front of your client. Like, no. Do it here, right? You get these printed, practice. Okay. Like I think when we first started, that's like literally all we did was just presented to each other. We did our presentations. Okay. Yeah. And then once you've done it a handful of times, like you'll still practice, but the good news is like you can kind of just fall back into it. And obviously like some clients are different and you're going to pivot a little bit and need to adjust. But for the most part, if you have at least an outline, then you're not sitting there like a lost puppy. Okay. Sweet. Okay. Sweet. Okay. I don't know why command isn't working for you guys on some of you guys right now. Mine pulled right up. So just check back in if the, oh, the other thing that I would encourage you to actually, if there's one last thing that I'd encourage, and then we'll just do like open working hours. Angie will be back down at 10 to continue the session. But one thing that you could do is Johnny Christensen, our regional director. Who knows Johnny? Have you guys met Johnny? Any of you know him? Cool. Well, Johnny, our regional director, he's awesome. Every quarter, they do a Utah market update. Who was on the Utah market update this last call? Okay. So every quarter, they have like 120 slides, I think, of really good data. What I would encourage you to do is every quarter, because they send out those slides, take those slides, and I would put the most high value, the most like impactful slides, the most telling slides about the market, and I would put them into your presentations, okay? Because obviously there's some information that's never going to change, but also if you want to give your clients real-time data, it actually makes sense to update it, at least once a quarter, I would say, especially because Johnny and Gordon, his assistant, they do all the heavy lifting. Like they put, like you guys, who you guys saw it, raise your hand if you were on it. Was it impactful? Oh wow, a lot of us. It was cool, right? A lot of really good data. So does it make sense to go and put that in there? Do you see what I'm saying? Why that would be useful? Why would it be useful for your clients to have those slides, some of that data? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Thanks, Lucas. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, let's I'll just stay down here until Andy comes back down to continue the session, and we can just keep working. Okay. So I'll turn the time over to you guys. Any questions that you have, let's just tackle them.
My face doesn't like the circle. It doesn't. You chose to add face. Lucas. Well, I've only had one face, but it doesn't matter. Either face, it doesn't like it. I just had to be free flying. I was the free flying person, but maybe the free flying me might be better than the just rando lady. No, what happened was deleted the face. I got followed, so choose me. Doesn't matter, just choose. So I deleted the circle. Can't make my face be in the circle. So how did we get me in there? Now I'm black and white, which is what I don't really care. It's just he's black and white, which is fine, but show me how to get my lasers. We did too, and it didn't work.
Well,
You're doing it wrong.
I think what I think happened, you accidentally deleted that and made the photo out. So it didn't have a photo to replace.
Oh, okay, so I'm like, we weren't trying to put out the office space. It wasn't.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
It wasn't just me, rude. You just be quiet.
Yeah. The other thing that I would tell you guys too is I really would make it a priority to prepare. Like, I think this kind of goes without saying, but if you have a listing presentation or buyer's presentation, do all of this stuff like at least 48, 24 hours in advance, right? You don't want to be doing it like you have a client coming into the office and like, I can't tell you how many times, I cannot tell you how many times I have an agent come to me like, hey, can you come help me set up the conference room? I have a client they have clients in the conference room and they have me come in and help them set up. Like that happen. I kid you not, it happens all the time. I'll get a text, say, hey, can you run down here real quickly? And I'm like, if I'm not available and that agent is trying to present, like I've come down and I'll have people literally, I have been in the room with their clients helping them get set up. So please, please, please take the initiative to like 24 hours in advance to at least, connect with me and say, hey, I have some questions about this, or ideally 48 hours, right? So we can set up a time to really go through and make sure you're ready to go, because you don't want to look like a goofball in front of your clients. I don't think it's the end of the world, right? But like ideally you're just there ready to go. So you can really knock it out of the park. Okay. So that'd be my last piece of advice.
Stop it. Wow, oh shoot.
Yeah. So I had a mentor when I first started, and he made me and another agent practice our presentations every single morning, 5 days a week for 3 months. And that was what we did. Every single morning for 3 months, we practiced our presentations. And it quickly became like we more just did objection handling, we just did pieces of it. But that was what we did every single morning for at least 15 minutes. We went over our presentation. So I'd encourage you to do the same. Pick a partner, start practicing it. Okay.
Even if it's on your own sometimes.
Okay. Here's
So-
that. What do you need to be in today? Are you gonna
I am in, is this you?
This is, yeah, this is
Nice.
from this computer. You're welcome to just play around on there tomorrow.
Can I share my presentation to you or
Yeah.
whatever here?
Yeah, do it.
Where would I get that?
Just
Or just give it to you?
Yeah, just email it to me.
I think I sent it to Ritz and I will just, you said email
Or,
to,
yeah, just service email.
perfect. Perfect.
Oh, perfect. And did you guys see that Ritz just sent? Ritz, you're the best. Did you see that he just sent those Q3 market report? Yeah. So I would go and reference those slides, and start picking out some slides that is useful to that would be useful to your client.
Let's do this. We're just gonna even go on airplane mode. Does that sound good? It'll save my battery.
Oh, you need to give me access.
Ah, well then I can't go on airplane mode. Should be good. We are gonna be, guys, did you give me, oh, we put it on. So can Zoom hear us? Oh, fantastic. He might have even made it better. Maybe not. I think so.
Okay.
Can I use this too or no, just this?
Unfortunately not.
No
All right,
worries.
how's that?
That's great. Well, I don't have anyone super duper new in here. So we're just, because we're on such limited time today, we are just going to go plowing through. And you guys, this is Ignite session 6 from 2019. So if you were here earlier, you understood that our friend Courtney is sick today, so she wasn't able to make it. And I did not have time to prepare today's class, but I knew this one was very, very similar, at least on the same time frame. So I figured we might as well throw it out there and see what happens. So this was a class that I taught back in 2019, and then we had closed that year 92 units. We sold 46 listings, and it was just under 30 million. So kind of gives perspective. And this is my handsome husband. He no longer gets in pictures anymore because he hated the sister wives look. So you will never catch him in any pictures ever anymore. Leisha's actually up in the cubicle across from my desk. She's our gal that lives in Florida, but she's here right now. So if you guys get a chance to stop by and say hello to her, you should. She was my very first hire, maybe 8 years ago. Is it on? No, can't hear. I cannot speak to it, but hopefully I think we are going. So, and life continues to, we continue to have cycles in business. So most of the people on that screen have already moved on to other opportunities. And just a quick reminder as well, even back in 2019, I was fiercely committed to the 10-4. It's super important that you're making sure that you are getting your thank you notes out to everybody, and it will make the biggest impact on actually your guys' business. You guys remember what the 10-4 is? 10 written notes a day, 10 calls or connections. So that could be face-to-face as long as you get an interaction with somebody. Close. Good. You have one last 10. Contact 10, add 10 to the database, write 10 notes, and walk through 10 homes a week. And then if you want to add social media on there, you can. I think we probably could work to what that is. I think that is, they have a 511 or something. I think sometimes you can get sucked into social media. So I think if you haven't done the 10-4, don't freaking open Facebook. Like, you got to do the 10-4 first. Okay. So I'm hoping as well, you guys, that you're okay that I hope I have permission to go off script today though. So does that sound okay? We're going to talk a lot about real estate stories, the process, staging, listing, setting expectations, communication, and servicing your listings. We'll talk about some scripts and tools for communication. We may or may not make it to the next sheet, but hopefully. And can they hear us on Zoom? I guess I just want to confirm we've had such bad recordings. I'd be so sad. I don't want to ask him on because I thought I might hear it, but. Awesome. Perfect. I just making sure that I feel so bad. I've been listening to some of those recordings. They need deleted because they're so bad. Okay. Testing. I love it. That sounds fantastic. Okay. And we'll cover just really quick our fiduciary duties. You guys remember the difference between functionary and fiduciary? I feel like we need a mic for this because we're going to be a high participation. You guys have been sitting too long. I feel like everybody needs to stand up. I want you to give 3 high fives right now. Right here. Woo, you had like 6, 7 people at the open house. One there, one here. Let's go. What do you got high fives for? Let's go. Make it happen right here. Okay. Whew. Are we back again? Okay, now we can get going. So who wants to tell me what's the difference between functionary and fiduciary? And I'll wait.
Yes, I don't
Yes.
know. I mean, I think fiduciary is, I feel like that's a legal term, maybe, and the function is just doing the bare minimum.
Good. Function is going to be, I'm a door opener and I put words in a contract. A fiduciary means that I am working with your best interest. I'm working on your behalf. I want you to think about how you would negotiate for your grandma, that's probably fiduciary, but we actually are fiduciary for everybody. That is in the contract, if you guys remember. This one is section, hang on. The same words are in there. I will find them for you.
Like section 5 or something.
5.1, loyal, obedient, give full disclosure, complete confidentiality, and anything else required by law. And this is how I might say it to my seller. It's kind of like, sounds like a Boy Scout role, right? Like, I'm going to be loyal, obedient, give full disclosure, complete confidentiality, and anything else required by law. But I want you to know, seller, I take this really personally. What that means is I'm going to negotiate for you like I would negotiate for my grandma. So that's how I describe that to them. So that's really important to me. Florida actually has functionary agents. So when we sold our properties in Florida, I was so irritated. I read their contract and they are a functionary agent. I had no one in my fiduciary side. That's also why I'm not as concerned about the lawsuits. We operate in Utah different than most states. I think, what was it, 9 states require a buyer broker. I didn't sign a single buyer broker agreement in Florida, and we bought 6 properties. Like, oh, we're different here. We can be different. We get to choose to do different. So why this matters to me is I believe when we talk about sellers and listings, our fiduciary duty is to make sure we're totally honest with them. It is not fair. It is not fiduciary to let them go in and overprice their property. You are not acting as a fiduciary if you do not talk to them about what they need to do to get their most money for their house or to actually get it sold. Now, we can tell them, and then they can choose to do something different. We're not going to make them price it. They're the ones that decide, but it's our job. Shame on us if we didn't tell them. Okay. So that's an important piece for me. So we need to be honest about the condition, pricing, expectations, and just really what is going to be best for them. And that continues even as you're negotiating contracts with them, as offers get presented and different things go through that. So even in a moment where maybe a seller wants to be higher than the market value is, it's going to be important to tell them what's going to happen if they choose to do that. Okay, seller, I know that you really want 575. The comps show that it's 565 that we should be at. It's totally up to you, but it's important that I share with you what that looks like so that you can plan. Now, we never know what is going to happen on the market because the market changes every day. The buyers on the market change, the sellers on the market change, the houses change, interest rates change. It just changes all of the time, seller. So if you'd really like to go out at 575, you're in charge. Totally happy to let you do that. I just want to let you know that if we don't see at least 10 showings, then we are probably overpriced. Or if we receive 10 showings and no offer. So I would do 10 showings. So this is actually a script. Natalie's heard this one. So if the market has told us that if we receive 10 showings and no offers, we're probably 5% over market. And if we have gone, you pick 10 days and no showings, you're probably closer to 10% over the market value. But we have no idea. There might be that one California buyer that you're talking about that's going to come in and pay cash for your house because it's better than everybody else's. It might not be quite that snotty, but we might. So let's do this. Why don't we go ahead and take your price if you're okay with that? And then in 10 days, if we don't have the activity we need, just know that we're going to probably need to take a price drop. And we'll get into more scripts. I'm hoping this records well because these are all just, if you guys are okay, I will go in and out of me being at an appointment. Does that sound okay? You might be like, is she on script? Is she doing this? Is this what's happening? Okay, you guys, this is important to note. This is actually an old graph, but I didn't have time to replace it. This is just off the MLS in the stats. If you go over to statistical, this is the home sales report. I love it. I can pull it in like 30 seconds and be able to tell people in their neighborhood or in their city or in their town, whatever it is you want to search, how many homes have been listed and how many homes sold. So the green number is what was listed. The black number is what sold. And do you know why that is important to me? And I show sellers this. What happens to the houses in between? The black number is the number of homes that actually sold. The green number is what was listed. There's a big difference number wise. So what happens? What happens to these houses in between? They didn't sell. That's important to know because not all homes that go on the market actually sell. Did you know about 25 per home? I actually haven't checked currently where we're at, but even back when the market was strong, 25% of homes that got listed didn't sell. That meant, neighbor, that out of your neighbors that listed their properties, 3 of them sold and 1 of them didn't. My job is to make sure you're one of the ones that sold. Okay. The other cool thing about this is this blue line. It shows you what the average purchase price was. That also tells you it was $341 back in first quarter of 2020. Holy cramoly. Do you guys know what it is right now? I think it's $537. Holy shiz. This is also a report when I pull it out further that I would use that shows people what the difference is between now and back in 2008. It's a super simple graph. That's like the coolest part is like, it takes no time to run it and you can like look like an expert. But the most important thing that I wanted you guys to realize is not all houses sell. So seller, why do you think some houses don't sell? Someone's got to play my game. Someone's got to respond. What is it? Price. Why else? Condition. Marketing. You might be at a no service brokerage, right? Which is okay too. Everybody has what they need. But there's 3 factors that sell a house. I stole all of this scripts from Clay Winder. I can't claim they're mine. Okay. Price, condition, and marketing. Now the thing is I'm going to market the heck out of your property, but I need your help controlling these 2 things. These are the things that we can control. Now, let's just talk about that. Is if your house was on a train track and it didn't sell, is it price or condition? Which falls into condition or price, right? Because it's a condition of being on the railroad, but you can't get rid of the railroad. So you have to deal with it through price. If my house smells like cat pee, condition, I can either fix it or it's always price or condition. Just price or condition. Now, at the end of the day, there are some agents that are better at marketing than others. There are some agents that will use their cell phone and the pictures go on the MLS like this and they're horrible. So that's on the agent, but really price or condition. I always get excited when I see those because that means that we're going to get a good deal for my buyer. I'm like, that's the one. I hate and you get there and your buyer actually is so grateful. It's so much better than what the pictures look. I'm like, yes, the expectations are right. So 3 factors that sell home: price, condition, and marketing. So seller, don't you worry. I'll go through all of my marketing strategies with you today. And at the end of the day, price and condition, we're going to talk about that to make sure that you get the very most money out of your house. Now, there are, oh, this is over the thing you can't see. Oh, you can see it. 3 Ds to selling your house. And I use this all the time. Who else knows the answer to this? Declutter, deep clean, and depersonalize. When I very first started, I did a really quick video that I send to my sellers. You could send it just however you want to do your video, if it's a Loom or you want to do it on YouTube. And I just run through the 3 things that are going to get you the biggest bang for your buck. We're going to deep clean, declutter, and depersonalize. And it's crazy because you're going to actually find that they'll remember the 3 Ds. These 3 Ds came from Clay too. So, okay, seller, the biggest bang for your buck when we're talking about getting your house ready to sell is really going to be the 3 Ds. We're going to deep clean, declutter, and depersonalize. Now, unless you've done these, I don't even want to talk to you about replacing carpet or countertops or paint. We got to start here. So I'm going to run through what that looks like. This is actually kind of my slideshow presentation I do for my savvy seller class that I do for my database. So I do basically the same slides for that. Kind of. I use the same slides. They're in a different order. Okay, so
And you did that on my house that I did, kind of, you know.
well, the thing is, seller, like I want you to realize, don't be I'm not judging you, seller, because nobody comes to my house
Right.
and realizes that I have wet clothes in the washer and dishes in my sink. So there is no judgment, because the way we live in a house is different than the way we sell a house. These are scripts I say at every house I go into. Okay, I'm just sharing exactly what I say. So there's zero judgment. Just let me come see your house. I don't care what it looks like. It's just not fair, because no one comes to my house. My house is a freaking mess right now. So I promise I'm not judging you. And what was the next thing you just said? Oh, the way we sell a house is different than the way we live in the house. Okay, you've lived here for 18 years and there's so much stuff in here, and that's okay. But what we're going to need to do is we're going to actually probably need to get rid of half of everything that is inside the house. It just depends how motivated they are. So I'm working with a young kid right now. He was super motivated. He pulled up to a house, said he loved it, wanted to put an offer on it. And it was in the heat of the market like 2 years ago, year and a half ago. And I was like, Brad, there's no way you're going to get an offer accepted right now contingent on you having to sell your house. He's like, well, can we just try? Can we just try? I'm like, all right, well, you have till Monday to get your house ready to go on the market. Let's give it a try and see. We put down non-refundable earnest money upon acceptance to get them to take it, even though we were contingent. It was like $500 because I was like, they gotta know you're betting on yourself. So we bet $500 to start. And then he busted his freaking behind to get that place emptied out. It was a 700 square foot house. And we're talking trailers getting pulled out. Well, he called me to help his mama sell her house. And he's like, Angie, we can't, it killed me doing it. There's no way we can get mom's house ready to go like that. We got to figure out how to buy and then sell, because we can't do it contingent. So I went into her house, and he's right. They've been there 61 years. There's no way. So we got some, it's just different. So it depends on how much they do, but the thing is, a seller, we get one shot to go on the market. Okay. And the most motivated, qualified buyers are going to come in the first 24 to 48. Well, in the first 7 days. We have to change expectations because it's different than it used to be. In the first 7 days. And so if we're not ready to go on day one, and the most motivated, qualified buyer comes in and your house isn't clean or it doesn't smell great, you'll never get them to come back. Okay, so we get one shot. We better be ready to go. We got to do everything we possibly can up front, especially in this market, because buyers are demanding more. With interest rates the way they are, they're expecting it to be great. They're paying a lot of money. You know, 2 years ago, you could sell a house that did smell like cat pee and didn't have a roof, and you would get multiple offers. But seller, that is not the market that we're in today. We have got to be the prettiest house at the best price. That's what we got to do if we're going to get your house sold. Okay. So you get one shot. And let's talk about this: deep clean, declutter, and depersonalize. So I already said, you know, you guys have lived here for 18 years. You guys have been here for 18 years. So we got to probably take half of everything that's in here, and it's got to go. But you guys are getting ready to sell. So this is a good opportunity. We're going to box up everything we can. And did you know that garages and closets don't sell houses? So let's box that up and get it out into the garage. Do you have boxes? No? I'll bring you a flat of boxes. Does that sound good? And I just go to Home Depot and I pay $25 and I buy a flat of boxes and I put them on the front porch for them. A lot of times I might even take them to my listing appointment, depending on how motivated they are. So if you don't want to pay for boxes, go on Marketplace. You can pick them up for free. KSL, you can pick them up for free. People are all the time, when they're done moving, they just get rid of them. But take them boxes. And then, that was weird. I left my other one at my mother-in-law's house, so I'm back to my little one. Okay, so, and you guys, honestly, do you really want to take all this stuff to your new house? Like, now's your chance. Let's get it to the eye. Let's let it go. Does that sound good? Say yes. I'm like, okay. Now, also, not only is half of this going to go, but we like to call it the rule of 3. You get 3 things in each room. Okay, this is when we walk through. I want you to think about this, you guys. That means maybe a bed, a nightstand, and a dresser. You can maybe do 2 nightstands and a dresser, but try to think of the rule of 3. So that's going to mean in this living room where you have 7 bookshelves, a huge sectional, 2 recliners, and a coffee table, you get 3. And I'll just look around. I'm like, so really, I need you to keep that couch, maybe 1 recliner, and your coffee table. Can you guys get rid of all these bookshelves for me? So, and we just talk about in each room, we just walk through, and I honestly, half the time I get up and I just start talking them through what that might look like, of what has to go. Okay, so let's go take a look at the bedroom. Okay, in here, you guys, don't worry, mine looks exactly the same. My stinking nightstand is covered, so there's no judgment. But really, we got to get rid of this. We got to get rid of and get them down to the rule of 3. Okay. The next thing with decluttering is it's called the basketball rule. Anything smaller than a basketball, you guys are going to want to box up. Okay. I want you to think about when you go into a model house. The reason people love model houses is because nobody lives there. There are no toothbrushes. There are no socks. There's no backpacks. That's why we love it. So we got to make sure this is the same way here. Okay. And you guys don't have to do this, but if you're hiring me to make sure you get the very most money for your house, then you're going to want to do it. Okay. So we've now gone through decluttering. Oh, and that chunkiness. So when we talk about anything smaller than a basketball, I want you to think about the model homes. They always have big chunky pieces on their shelves. They don't have any precious moments figurines, right? So if you have a beautiful curio cabinet and you can't get it out and it has to stay in, empty it out. Put 1 plant in there. Okay. And you don't want everybody to be messing with your precious stuff. So let's just box that up and put it away. Okay. And at the end of the day, people ask if you should get a storage unit. You know, it's up to you, but I think they're a waste of money personally. So fill that garage, get it filled up, make sure it's nice and organized, or the storage room downstairs, or all your closets can get totally filled up. I just think that things go to die in storage units. So might as well just let it all go. So we talked about basketball rule. Okay, deep clean. The problem is the way we live in a house is different than the way we sell it. So what we want to do is we want to 3D clean the house, things that you won't even realize. Anything that can collect dust needs to get cleaned, you guys. So any of your windowsills, your baseboards need done, your blinds need done. And the thing is that the buyers won't even know why they love your house, but they'll walk in and go, oh, wow, this feels so good. Because you guys know that nobody ever appreciates a clean toilet, but everybody notices a dirty one. And I tell them that just the same, and they go, oh, yeah, you're right. So for me personally, on our listings, I'll have Yolanda come and clean. That's something that I gift my sellers, that it's worth it, because I need them to focus on taking care of precious moments figurines. I will have my cleaner come in and deep clean for them. You guys don't have to, but they pay us an awful lot of money. You decide. I think it's some of the best money well spent if you can get a really good cleaner. She just cleaned, so I shouldn't tell you guys because you're going to work with her. She just cleaned 6 of my units down there and charged me $750 for 60 units. Bless her freaking heart.
Never mind. My house.
She is one that's a couple weeks out. So that's what happens is I book her even if I don't have stuff in the pipeline. And then if I don't have stuff, she'll clean my house, or I'll gift it to a friend, or because I'm like, hey, what do you got next week? Because I can't, she never has anything week of. Sometimes I get her Thursday, and then she'll work Saturdays for me when I need her. And I do love her. We can talk.
Have you ever been with someone gets their house and 3 days? I did an open house where the agent was so mad this place was filthy because they had paid someone to be clean.
Well,
Maybe
and
not a good
seller,
idea.
I can do all of these things, but we'll get to like showing your house sucks. So you better price it right. Because you'll keep showing. You'll keep showing if you're overpriced. I'm finally at the price we should have been at in Lehigh, and we've probably had 18 showings. If we would have gone out on the market at the right price at the right time with the motivated qualified buyers, then $559.
Yeah, because I was there and I was like. I
For
really
current
wanna-
condition, you either got to change the and a lot of times we'll get into that. I've already invested enough in that house. I'm like, I cannot, and we're not in deep enough relationship for me to put carpet in. A lot of times I will front the money for stuff. I've fronted for some other things there, and he was a referral. That's why I took him. He's difficult. It's a great house. It's a great location.
Yeah,
It
look,
needs-
okay, the house is
It
alive.
needs love. It's priced where it is. It's like either price or condition. If you're not going to change the carpet, you got to drop the price. You decide. I don't care. Okay, so deep clean. And this one is like, I have a friend that I worked at the restaurant with, and after I sold her house, she's like, you cannot come to my house because every time you come in, I can tell you're looking at my baseboards. I'm like, I am. I am. But at the restaurant, that was a big deal to me. We kept our baseboards clean. We kept our windowsills clean. We kept like things that collect dust. The problem is, seller, you've lived in your house this whole time. And I get it. You never moved your fridge. You're not going to. That's not what we do. But this is the kind of stuff we need to make sure it feels clean in here. So having somebody come in and help is great. Smells clean. Smells. It's awesome. We were holding our house open on Saturday, and the medical people came and they brought bagels, which you'd think would be fine. I thought they stunk. I felt so bad because I thought it was the people that were in there. Like, it smelled like Play-Doh. It was salty and weird. They were great cheddar jalapeno bagels, but I'm like, oh, I got to get something in here. And I just felt bad because I just thought they did not have great personal hygiene. I was wrong. It was their bagels. All right, depersonalize. This is the fun one, you guys. I want mics up. You guys make sure we record. What are some depersonalizing? Start throwing out stuff. Photos. What else? When you say photos.
Take down like all of your religious stuff.
Ooh, I call that religious paraphernalia. I have a story on that. So personal family pictures. Okay. So when I'm walking through the house and I see they have all of it here, I'm like, oh, you guys, these are so cute. But I'm going to make sure that your house is on every single website I possibly can. And I definitely don't want your kids' faces on there. Let's do this. Why don't we either take them down, or if this wall is cute and not crazy and it's already done, you can flip them over and let them just be white, or stick some sheet music in there or stock photos, any of those things. Okay. Most of the time you want to take as much off the walls as you can anyways, though, because it's going to feel way more open, way more clean model home like. Okay. So personal family pictures. Did you have one you were going to say? Knickknacks. Anything smaller than a basketball, man. Clear that sucker up. And personal besides Nick, because it could be super personal, right? Could be like my cute daughter made me that little giant AirPod that's up there. It does not need to be out for showings. Very personal.
Anything really valuable.
Anything valuable. I call it hotel room status. Okay. Hotel room status. That means that if you have any IDs, any checkbooks, any of those things, also any medication, even if it's not good stuff, someone could pick it up and you're going to be sad that it's gone. So we need to make sure that any medication is locked up as well. I want to come back to religious stuff. So every person's religious stuff is going to look different. And for me personally, I had to learn this the hard way because my house didn't sell and I didn't have the cojones to tell the seller what had to happen. Okay. So it was they had a lot of crosses and I didn't know how to talk about it. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to say. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. we did all of the other things in their house, and it wasn't a ton. They probably had one in each room, maybe 6, every bedroom, living room, kitchen. And it's an interesting topic in our culture that we live in. And I didn't know what to say or how to talk about it. I didn't know how to have that conversation. Well, that house didn't sell and it expired, and they pulled it off the market and they let me relist it in the spring after I went to Clay's Win the Seller class. And in his class, I realized it was my fiduciary duty to talk to them about it. It wasn't fair. So we talked to him about it, and I said, oh, guys, I hate to tell you this, but it's super important. We probably need to take those down because they're so personal. You can have one. Does that sound okay? And I have the same rule for Jesus and temples. You can have one. And most of the time I can talk about it in a funny way. Like, oh, you guys aren't so bad, because I walked into this house and I counted 19 Jesuses by the time I got to the kitchen table. I'm like, you guys are pretty good, but, and I kind of tease, I'm like, but you probably need to limit it to one. But, you know, we keep Jesus in our heart. Okay, that's where he belongs. And you guys have to decide, but it is a thing that'll make a difference. It's personal. And so when somebody else comes in, if you want to sell your house, like, it's not your house anymore. Right?
By the house that we have now, they had like a massive temple photo and like Jesus and like all this stuff, and like we're Christian
Mhm.
Utah, right? And
It's the
so
culture.
my mother-in-law was so turned off. She was like, blasphemy status turned off. My husband was like, chill out, it's okay. Like, we had to talk her into, we're like, it's okay.
And it's on both sides, right? So even having things like we kind of talked about it, wine bottles being out might be one of those things that could be a turnoff in our culture, but so could 7 pictures of temple, right? And it just is what it is. And we have to, it's our fiduciary duty to talk to them about it, though. And I had a senior couple up across the street from the American Fork Temple. And they had a lot of temple pictures inside. And I talked to them about it, and they said, nope, the person who buys this house is going to buy it because of the location. I'm like, okay, totally your deal. It's important to me that I share. And they didn't. Just fine. It's fine, but it is, and it's theirs. It's our job to talk to them about it. It doesn't mean that they have to do it. But we got to talk in a polite way about it, in a respectful way about what that might look like. Now, there's a lot of depersonal stuff that we haven't covered still. Sports teams. Huge. And I will just tell people, it's crazy, but I will have people walk into a house and walk right back out if it's a blue house or a red house. Isn't that super interesting? But it's just super personal. The other thing is that, and I tell these stories on my listing appointment with people, so they start to get a sense of like, I'm not attacking them. But do you guys know who the band, I think it's called Rancid. They're local, right? I think they're local. I think that's the right band. So I showed the drummer had a house and that was for sale, and I showed it. It was like, I don't know, funny. It's in my neighborhood now. It's like 1.3 or something. So we walk in, and I have clients who really want to live in this neighborhood, but we walk in and he has all of his signed jerseys because he's done work for the Royale team and came up with their fight song. Is it Rancid? You'd probably know. You're the soccer player. Okay. And he had all of his signed skateboards up on the walls, and it was like a freaking museum in there. And so you know what my buyers did the whole time? Oh my gosh. This place is cool. I'm like, do you guys want to check out the kitchen? Like, we didn't look at the house at all. It's so crazy. So it's super important when you think about that. Other things we talked about locking up is guns, bullets. Make sure they're locked up. Tell me more. Oh,
My mom will have to, when she goes, we're gonna have to like take the shot off everything, like, the big
Mhm.
pictures, all the easels.
Just all of
your
all
dead
of the
family members
things.
can't be all of the house 'cause it's
The
stretching
urns
across
I have
the
never
easels.
come up with, but you were probably right. I've never had that brought up, and I'm going to add it to my stuff. Urns. I hadn't thought about it, but I bet that's a thing. Okay.
Shrines.
We have one more. Well, we have one more that we haven't hit that's a big one for depersonalized. Yes, it could be cultural. Flags of any kind. Rainbow or Trump, they both got to go. It's important to realize that. So, so any kind of flags though, they really, the problem is that even in my like get ready for pictures thing, even American flags, I ask them to take them down for pictures and I say it in a really nice way. I'm like, the problem is the flag still's the show. And we are actually selling your house. And I think it's beautiful, but it just stills the show. So I let them put them back up if it's an American flag after the pictures, but I usually don't have them in the picture. That's me. That's just what I've learned over the years. So you guys are learning a ton today, huh? Oh.
A photo collage and say this is what it should ultimately look like.
I have those. It's so good. Yes, this is what done looks like. This is what right looks like. I love that. Love that. And honestly, so okay, the big one that we still have, nobody's hit it yet, huh? You had some, I think.
Every antique on the history of the planet.
What else did you have?
Guns, like the
Guns, those, what else?
we had guns, antiques, we had liquor bottles. Oh,
Dead
we had
animals.
the dead animals, yes.
Animals, dead or alive. You did. There was a lot going on in that house, and I was so proud of you.
Everything.
Yeah, it looked so good compared to the and they had already done even some work when I came, but
Yeah.
so dead or alive, doesn't matter. Animals, dead or alive. And it might matter depending on what location you're in. Elkridge, you might get away with it. At the end of the day, it's my job, seller, to tell you how to get the most money for your house. You decide. Now, and I'll tease them. I'm like, you only have one elk up there. I literally had a 1,400 square foot house that had 26 heads. It was so crazy. I was like walking through like this and they took them all down. That was at the end of the day. I mean, he put them in a shed, locked the shed, but we're talking the shed had all of the heads. It was a little intense. So it's up to you, but I just say that it's up to you, but I've had people walk in and walk right back out. So if I'm going to find the person that's going to spend more money on your house than anything else, than any other house, we got to do everything we can. And you know what happens is what we want to do is we want to find the person that looks at their husband and says, honey, get me this house. And they're not going to do it with your stuff on the wall. So you guys decide. That's just an important piece is I got to find the person that's like, I don't care what it takes, honey, get me this house. So alive animals, okay? And I got that dog sitting on my lap in the listing appointment and he's licking me and there's hair everywhere and I got to deal with this dog, right? And I will tease and be like, oh my gosh, your house doesn't even stink, even if it does. It doesn't even stink. But I want you guys to know that if there's any sign that a pet lives here, it could cost you probably $10,000. So you guys don't have to do it. But I recommend, like, if there any way there's somebody who could keep an eye on your dog for the next week or two. That was another mistake I made on one of my first listings is that I was like, I let them keep the dog at the house. Even if it's kenneled. Is it fine if it's kenneled? And I didn't know how to say, no, it's not. That dog barked at every person who walked in the door. Do you think anyone made an offer on that house? No, it took me 90 days to sell that thing. And I was only overpriced by $2,000, but it was conditioned. Here, like no one stays at that. Do not let people get them out of there. My friend, that one I was telling you about with the baseboard, she has a Great Dane. And so she's like, no one will take, she had a whole zoo, but she got rid of everything but the Great Dane. Somebody else watched them. And she would just drive it around in her Mustang, Great Dane in the front seat while we were doing showings. She had the dog bed in the back seat. Like you got to get them out of here. No signs of tennis balls, no signs of dog dishes, no signs of anything, it will devalue your property. I don't care how good it smells in there. And even if they're just a little like lap dog, make sure you can't find or that you don't see any dog food, cat food, kitty litter.
Dog food, backyard.
Cat trees. And you really, oh my gosh.
My husband wouldn't even be able to come in though. Like he is so allergic to cats that there's no question we wouldn't buy it. Like
That's my daughter, same thing.
they just won't even come. And they may or may not if they do know. So I just hide it. At the end of the day, it's like you just got to get it hidden, right? It can go in the back of the closet, put things over the top of it, and laundry basket in front. Like, so that's the other thing, seller, is that getting ready to sell or like having to show, it takes a lot of work. I should actually put more things in my 3Ds. It's fun to talk about. We got to keep them moving. We talked about, hang on. I don't want to miss what we were going to talk about a minute ago. We'll come back. I digress. Staging roles, nothing smaller than a basketball, roll of 3, and the golden mile. The golden mile, seller, is from the moment your buyer gets out of their car to the time they hit the kitchen table. That has to be perfect. So when you ask me if you should clean out the storage room downstairs, not unless your golden mile is perfect. Okay. If you ask me if I think you should paint the 3rd bedroom, no, we got to focus on that. So I want you to come outside with me and I want you to think, if I was a buyer and I pulled up to your house right now and I got out, it might be a pain in the butt, but you probably should pull those weeds that are in the cracks on the concrete. And you maybe didn't even realize you had a big pile of leaves in the gutter that looks gross. This is our golden mile, because you know that buyer, by the time they hit your kitchen table, they're going to know whether they're going to make an offer on that property or not. They don't even have to go anywhere else. I can tell you by the time they hit that kitchen table, for the most part, they're going to know if they're in. Everything else is bonus. Okay. I mean, there might be some one-offs with the wife needs a tub in the bathroom or whatever, but they know. So yeah, grab a mic. We're just going to record it. I'm working hard to make sure my recordings have been horrible. My class is on recording.
I agree. I irritated my homeowner because I told him his front yard looked terrible and he needed to trim all his bushes and his trees and he needed to mow his lawn, pull his weeds and weed whack the yard. And I actually went next door and asked the neighbors to weed whack all of their weeds next to the neighbor's property. But I did go the very next day to the neighbor's house and I dropped treats off the morning of the open house and thanked them profusely for chopping all the weeds.
Did they
down.
chop all that stuff down?
They did.
So
They
good.
chopped all those ugly weeds down and I'm so grateful.
That front, on your way to the front door, is so important. So just walk them through that and go, oh man, I didn't realize my doorbell has been sun rotted. It costs $6 to go get a new one. Okay. I'm not one that is going to tell everybody to paint, but that front door, just paint it. Get a wreath on it. Get a doormat out. Oh, we'll probably have some other ones. Get a doormat out. Make sure it is clean as you're walking to that kitchen table. And when you're out showing houses, the very best agents will go through the whole house. And when they're downstairs in the storage room, deciding if they're going to make an offer because they like the house, don't let them stay in the storage room. Bring them back up to the kitchen table. It happens all the time. Okay, you're going to walk them through the house and they're like, oh, this is a good one. And they're down in the corner talking about it. Don't let them stay in the storage room while they talk about making an offer. Bring them back up to the kitchen table where decisions are made, where love is had, where we eat, where life is lived. It needs to be in the kitchen. Okay, so we're going to run through. These are what right looks like. Right? This is, we'll turn this out a little bit. These are my before and afters. So this has more than 3 things in it. My sellers always laugh. There's more than 3 things. When I first started, I believed that clean and vacant was just as good as staged, but it's not. It's not. Oh, it's not this one. I don't get to do that. I'm going to still use my little. Other simple tricks for vacant houses. You can invest $100 into a staging package for yourself that you can hold on to. That has a shower curtain, hand towel, soap, toilet paper, wreath mats and greenery. If you just do this for your vacant houses, it will show so much better. Even if you don't have furniture or you can't afford to stage or they don't want to stage, get a mat, buy 2 or 3 plants, get them at discount at like Home Goods, Ross, TJ Maxx. Watch the sales at Hobby Lobby. They go on sale for half price. Make sure your vacant houses have toilet paper. They're not supposed to use the bathroom, but it's 10 times worse if they use the bathroom and you don't have toilet paper. Okay. Hand towels, soap, and shower curtains. Super easy, but it'll make an impact on the way your vacant house shows. All right, these are the before and afters. That looks weird. It should be bigger than that, and I don't know why it is. That is super weird. Those are supposed to be bigger. It's fine. We'll go back because there's some things I was actually kind of sad because I wanted these to be big. This is the important picture that we look at. This is the exact same house. These are both MLS pictures. This is one that's in my listing packet for my sellers. There's a couple of things that are super important. We got to get you prepped and ready to sell. One of the things I also want to point out is a really good photographer is worth so much. I pay for a professional photographer to come in for you. We're going to do a 3D tour on all of our properties and a black line floor plan for him. And he just does a phenomenal job. But what are the 3Ds you see in this room? How did we make it look like this? She came to my class and then this is what happened. Curtains are open. The blinds are open. I wish you could see how big that is. I feel like I've got maybe the wrong. See how big it is. You can't see it. That's what these ones, this is the gift of being able to see this. No, she put it on there. We got rid of everything that was sitting here. Those were still there when I got there when she bought the house, basically, because they were on top. These shelves are the same shelves. They're empty here. They're just full of stuff there. Heavy, different furniture, which is some, but just these heavy art pieces as well. Just get rid of all of the stuff and a good photographer. This is a cell phone picture. And it's the same house. It actually is. So we went in and gave her recommendations to change out some of her fixtures. And I think she invested about $200 total. You know what else we did? She spray painted her gold fireplace black. That's just spray paint. Mm-hmm. So what he does is 3 pictures at once and then he puts them over so you can see through the windows. So he can't just take one picture and have that happen. He actually puts 3 on top of each other to get that look. So a good photographer. Same kitchen. They thought they were staging. Just pull the crap off. Okay. This is the same fridge. I wish that was big. I'm sorry, guys. I think for some reason it got weird in my presentation. This should be big. Take everything off. It's just crap. Yes. That, well, I love that you saw it because that was something when I went to help her get prepped to sell was big. That's one piece that's there. This is just stuff. Uh-huh. Yep, and we left one chunky piece the size of a basketball. One plant in the corner. Everything else is just clean and gone. Bar stools are different. They'd be okay either way, but cleaning is going to make the biggest impact on that. And a good photographer. You can see through the windows. You can get good natural light. Oh, you guys, I wish you could see this picture down here. Look at that. It's just new bedding is all that she did, basically. She didn't paint or anything. Yep. Because you can't see it because it's like, and this stuff here. She doesn't have anything on her walls. Are you guys missing it? Take it all down. Take it all down. Oh, you guys, I wish you could see these. I'm so sad. Different flooring. So she did update flooring here. You can't even see how That's all she did. Everything else in there is the same. Except for, I want to point out, mats are the devil. Because the way we live in a house is different than the way we sell it. So I just say that. So at the end of the day, I get that you're going to need a mat on the outside of your shower. See if I can show you the next one, because you're going to see that. These are still up there, but they're emptied off. They thought they were staging, just get rid of this stuff.
Toilet should always be closed.
That is,
So gross.
it's free and it classes it up. It's free. It's free.
When I
My
see
parents did not teach me that. My husband did. And I go to my parents' house and I'm like, I can't believe you guys just close the stinking toilet. Just close the toilet.
toilets up, I don't get that.
And then also you got to teach your seller, because they'll leave it up for showings. They don't know. No one's taught them. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. Shower curtain is open and we did white towels and a white shower curtain. No. Same nods. Yep. She still has gold here too. But get rid of these mats. See what happens is your eye gets drawn to those mats. You can put them out back after the pictures, but for pictures, pull all of the mats. I just roll them all up and stick them into a closet. I stack them, stick them in a closet, and then they find them when they get home. Oh, see it? It finally loaded. Did it just barely get big?
No.
When did that happen? It was in the corner a minute ago. We're just going to sit here long enough and maybe it'll load. Just, you guys, I'm going to escape here. And then, oh, you can't because it's big. We'll try again. We'll try again.
Oh, no,
They're bigger though. See, that's why I was like, they should be big. I want you guys to see what they look like. And this is the one I do. This is in my seller class, so they can see. Oh, okay, I get you, Angie. Yeah. Okay, this one. It is a different laundry, but just get rid of the stuff, because the way we live in a house is different than the way we show. So I just want, let's shove all that stuff inside the cabinets. Don't let it be out. Do they really need it anyways? Seller, I'm giving you permission to throw away the bubble bath that someone bought from the dollar store and gave you 7 years ago for Christmas. You didn't use it then, throw it in the garbage. Just throw it away. I do personally, but this has to do with the photography. So.
But it does look like they repainted.
They didn't. She didn't.
She didn't put any more change light bulbs.
The bulbs maybe, but I don't think so. I really do think it is his photography. You'd be surprised.
Well, I saw his photography. It's the same guy, right? That I
Yeah,
used.
probably back then. This has been a few years. Let's see. We're gonna still do this.
Of real estate, and I think people know that. I love to buy houses. I like to sell houses. When I order a drink, I'd like it to be on the house. And I always want to know what houses are out there, so I'm always looking at the real estate listings. But you have to know how to read them, because they use these secret codes and they put in things that seem positive and they're not. So since I know a few things about homes, and as the creator of HGTV's Ellen's Design Challenge, Mondays at 9, well, thank you. I thought I would point out a few things to watch for when you're buying a house. Let's look at the first one right here. This one says 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo with potential. You got to look out for that word potential, because potential means that the yellow mold could potentially grow into black mold. Let's see the next one. One of a kind, 2 bedrooms, 5-bath house. Okay, one of a kind is another red flag. The builder never made another one because he's in prison. Okay, he's been sued and he can't make another one. And what I would look at, who needs a 2-bedroom house with 5 bathrooms? I don't think you need a house, you need a doctor. That's what I think. You need that many bathrooms. 2 people in there. Here's another one. Cozy studio apartment. Okay, cozy means teeny, 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 tiny, tiny, teeny, teeny, tiny. If you are the person that prefers to sit in the middle seat on an airplane, this is for you. That's what that place is going to be like. And here's something that seems good. 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Seller is motivated. Seller is motivated means this house is currently on fire. He wants to sell quickly. All right, and very quickly, classic means old, retro means old, original means old, good bones, old bones. Newer means about to be old. The on the end. And I hope that helps you if you're looking for a house. And right now I'm going to use my good bones for this dance.
Thought you guys would appreciate a laugh there. You should drop it in our WhatsApp. All right, marketing plan. I have it here as page 16. It's somewhere. You guys have a 16-point marketing plan. My advice on this plan, though, here is delete it if you're not going to do it. If you're not going to hold open houses, do not put that on your marketing plan. If you're not going to do a 3D tour, do not put it on your marketing plan. If you're not going to do door knock the neighborhood, don't you dare stick it on your marketing plan. Only put things that you are committed to do all of the time. Okay, so that's my 2 cents on that, because they will read it and they will care. Open house scripts. I actually tried to click into that and that one is gone because it's so old. Okay, my last piece of advice is to make sure with listings you communicate daily. You will think they're fine. They're not. They're super stressed. Even if you have nothing to tell them things are going good. Okay, every single day, send them a text, a phone call, something that just gives them what it looks like. They just need to know. Once you're on the market, every day they're like, what's happening? What's happening? What's going on? What's happening? Okay, so just make sure you have something, some system in place to touch them. And you might think, oh, that's overkill. I promise you can't over communicate with them, even if nothing is happening. No calls today. We're planning on open house on Saturday. No showings yet. Open house on Saturday. I'm knocking doors today. Nothing's going. Just make sure. And then no matter what, call them on Friday. I promise. Because on Monday, when you didn't call them on Friday, they are raging mad. They're thinking they're paying you $30,000 to sell their sinking house and you aren't even around, even though you just talked to them on Thursday. I promise. And I usually text them. Now I'm a little lazier. I just send them a, hey, before the weekend, I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know XYZ. Doesn't even matter. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a great weekend. That also sets the tone that they're not going to call me on Saturday or be waiting for me to call them. And on Monday, when you didn't, oh, you are unbearing the weirdest things. They all come up with the weirdest things to complain to you about. And you're the worst freaking agent on Monday when you didn't call on Friday. So I promise, if you don't take anything else out of the class, do that. Okay, these are the basics really quick on what I expect on like the process. What's important on a listing compared to a buyer? A buyer has a chance to back out during seller disclosures and due diligence and financing and appraisal. A seller does not get to back out once they've accepted an offer. So don't be willy-nilly about accepting an offer. Do not until you get an approval from the KW Westfield team, whether it's me or Jeanette. You can always call me on this stuff. This is super important. Do not, and I just feel really strong about it, do not accept those offers on the sellers. And at least while you're in my program, just ask me, because you can tie them into really dangerous things in comparison to, at least on a buyer side, yeah, it would suck, but they can cancel, right? If something got mixed up, it's too financially detrimental not to. And there's ways that we can help protect you. And that is like, I tell you these things because we learn everything from making a mistake. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have let my buyer who offered on my listing have 21 days of due diligence. I didn't know that was a problem. It's a problem because at day 20, they took your house off the market for 3 weeks. You've lost all of the momentum and they cancel without anything. It depends on the seller. So if they're willing to, you can. So I would put it into a backup position. Most of them say they're willing to until I go to schedule the next showing. And they're like, why are you showing? And they want off. So it depends. If I had a backup offer, I probably wouldn't either. There's pros and cons. If it's a backup offer, it shows active on things like Zillow, so you might get signed calls. It depends on the seller totally for me though. And it depends on whether I might take a backup offer or not. A lot of times I won't take a backup offer because I don't want to get that person, my seller, stuck with whatever that offer is. However, I do call everybody and be like, you're my first call I'm going to make if something falls out. Depends on the situation. Sometimes I would put a backup offer in place to keep this one moving forward, so they know somebody's on their tail. So it just depends. It depends on each situation. Is just a little different. None of them are exactly the same. I don't allow for more than 10 days of due diligence max. I shoot for 7. But that's me. I've learned. And then I always try to get $500 after due diligence. So of like non-refundable money. After the inspections, we'd like $500 to know that you are committed to it and that you feel that confident about your loan. If you're not willing to do that, why should I bet on you? You'd like and I'm just a little bit matter of fact, you'd like my seller to take their house off of the market and you're not sure if you can qualify for the loan? So sometimes mine say something a little different, like the couple I have right now say $500 to be non-refundable after due diligence. However, something like that. If there are any appraisal issues that buyer and seller cannot come to an agreement on, buyer's earnest money shall be refunded. So it helps the buyer feel comfortable that what if the appraisal comes low, or what if we need repairs or something? I'm like, that's totally fine. But just because you want to back out on day 20, no, I'm not fighting. I'm negotiating with they're asking to extend their financing appraisal deadline right now. So they have $500 hard already. And today the next $500 goes non-refundable and they want to extend it to Wednesday. I'm like, well, you're asking my seller to risk. They have the appraisal got done and they were in underwriting and the underwriter questioned the appraisal. It's on my basement house. And it appraised for way higher than where we were at because we knew appraisal would come in high, but market value wasn't that. So I knew it would comp at 330. I took 10% off for being a basement house. And that's how I came up with my price, is that we were at 300 because that was like, I knew it would comp at 330, but it won't sell at 330 because no one wants the right person is going to want to live there. So this is his house, I can tell. And it appraised at 320. And so they questioned it. And they want additional information. I'm like, please. I told them last night because I communicate every day. Hey guys, tomorrow's financing appraisal deadline. Everything's looking good. I don't want to go and tell them now they want an extension. That was right before I came down here. So sorry guys. We'll keep moving. Okay. Oh, this is something I wish somebody would have told me when I very first started. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. I'm going to try to just click to the next page and see if it tells me. Oh, I maybe did something wrong. Go back. No. Okay. Your title company should be able to help you with a net sheet. A lot of them will have an app or a system or a tool. I personally work with Inwest and I do because I love their tool. I don't think this is going to let me get in. I can try. I don't know my logins on his computer. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you. Sorry, guys. You're on your own there. However, I don't even know how I can do it. Oh, I feel crippled right now. That won't work. Whoever it is you're working with should have some sort of a tool that's going to help you put together a net sheet. This should be really fast. Oh, they're trying to talk to us. It should be really fast. I was doing it with Natalie at her appointment, and I can put in how much are we going to list it for? What are the commissions? What is their loan payoff amount? How much do we expect to have to pay for seller paid closing costs for a buyer? We put in their taxes. It calculates everything, and it is pretty dang accurate. So I can hit enter, and it gives me how much are they going to walk away with. That tool, I spent all day long trying to figure out how much my seller was going to net when I presented my first offer to them. This makes it really easy. I can go and show them, because at the end of the day, it's what they net. So if they're like, we're short. Okay, so let's go back and negotiate. Let's manipulate it. Can we go up 5,000 in price? Can we reduce their closing costs by this much? Hit it again and see, is that closer to the number you want to be at? And it takes all the emotion out, and it's super easy to present it. And it's, I personally do it at the listing appointment because I don't want there to be any red flags. That's me, because I don't. And then I do it throughout the process. So every offer we get, I will put it into the thing, and then I will send them out the original one and that one. And I'll be like, well, wait a second. When we met, you guys said you were okay netting $23,000. Why is that not okay today? Or vice versa, right? Or if I can get you what you said was okay when we met. And again, I learned that it sucked to get there, and they didn't realize they were paying commissions, even though we talked about it. And for me, I want to know, can we make the next move? So these little kids in this house, it was like, all right. So, and we just sat down and worked it and went, okay, what debt do you have to pay off? How much do you need for a down payment? What are we going to have to do? How much do we actually have to get out of this house? Because if we can't get it, there's no point in me spending all my time and energy trying to get it sold so that I can manipulate it into this other side. So we actually I computed 10,000 in seller paid closing costs. At 300, I compute like a bunch of stuff to make sure that the title company has our invoices. I paid for the siding to get put on that house. So I gifted the cleaning, but there is $4,500 in siding that went up that they'll pay off at closing. So I'll get paid out of closing for that. And I do that often. You don't have to. It just makes my life easier when I have junky stuff that I got to deal with. But the net sheet, whoever your title person is in West or Burgundy or whoever, ask them for the net sheet and make sure you can control it. You don't want to have to email Burgundy on a Friday night to get the data. You want to be able to control it so that when you need it, you have it. You're not waiting for somebody else to help you with that. So that's the thing that I would ask you guys to, or my advice. Okay, other thing is, great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people. You are not alone, you guys. You have a team of people helping you. One of my first videos that I did when I started was about the team that I work with. And I didn't have anybody but this group. And I just did a video that was like, you get all of us. You're going to get me to take care of you. We got an awesome title, escrow, closing team that'll take care of you. I have a phenomenal finance team, one of the best brokers in the county, and a full compliance department. This was in 2019. You guys even have more people, but I have an open house and marketing team. Guys, all these people want to do this, right? And I have over 300 agent partners, because KW does operate different than any other brokerage, right? It is pretty cool. All right, I think we're down to ahas. Sorry, that was a long run of it, but I would love some ahas. Ask the mic around.
I would not have thought of the net sheet. I would have been sitting there with paper and pencil.
And reworking it to try to figure it out. Me too. All day on a Sunday, I was in tears by the end of the day because I just couldn't figure out how much that they were going to net. And that's all she wanted to know.
I'm glad there's an app.
There is. It's so easy. It's way slow. Like, their app is half of the reason I have never worked with another title company. I kept trying, but nobody could give me the tool I needed. They all want to take you to lunch or to golf, and I don't really care. I would like really great service for my clients, and I would like tools to grow my business. And maybe I should be a little more sociable, but those are the things. And I couldn't find anyone who could get me a net sheet that operated that way so well. One thing when you're doing the net sheet is that interest is paid in arrears. That's an important thing to understand. When you rent an apartment, you pay for the apartment on January 1st and you get to stay there for the month. Your mortgage is different. You actually stay all month long and you pay interest for last month. And the reason that matters is because seller, when you go to your computer and you find out what your payoff statement is, it's going to be that plus last month's interest. Okay. So my net sheets were off when I started because I didn't calculate for that. So now under there's another, just on one of the other boxes, I just put one of their monthly payments in there. So I just say, so your monthly payment's $1,200, awesome. And I talked to them about interest in arrears, that when you go to your computer seller, it's going to be different than what they actually have when they request the payoff. Today was like a major information-based, pact-based class. Lucas is yawning like crazy. I have bored him to death.
So I think he might need to stand and stretch.
High fives for everyone. No.
Stand and stretch.
But I need you guys,
There's invoice title and invoice.
ask them to give it to you because you want one with your own credentials. You want to be able to log in. And I personally, I know they have one on the phone. I like the one on the computer. I just do everything on my computer. I just feel too old to work with my cell
You
phone.
whipped it out on your phone that day.
I turned on my phone for the hotspot.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought you whipped it on your phone while we were sitting there. I didn't realize you had your computer with you. Since
I
you
have
had-
to. I
since
just,
You had planned on being there.
I just have to work with my computer. I'm not
I'm not
super
that
tech
talented either.
savvy, which also meant I have to have a phone and a phone plan that has a hotspot. I have to be able to work on that personally. And I feel like it's a good investment for our businesses. I'm not leaving you guys. I gave my morning up. You have to give me ahas. I'm sorry to sound so whiny, but you do. And ahas are important because remember, you have to hear something 6 times to retain it 75%. So when you share, you hear it again and you help someone else. So
Golden
in the
mile.
mic,
Then you call it the golden mile.
in the mic.
Golden mile. Turn it on. My voice is pretty loud. I like the golden mile. I didn't know that's what you called it. I just called it the front of the house, because if your house is not that cute, then you dang well better make it look amazing.
Ari's up.
I didn't realize, like, well, maybe I did, but how important it is to prepare your house so it can sell fast. So those little things really are important of, like, if you have anything on the walls that
Mhm.
can make another person think it's not attractive, that's
Mhm.
just a turn off, and that's important for your clients to know.
Awesome. I like it. Who's next? I'm gonna make you all, because I tipped my day upside down to be here.
Mine was the staging package,
Mm,
just knowing what to have.
yeah, a few things goes a long way.
I like the phrase the live-in condition versus self-condition.
Mhm.
I'm one of those people that I would know that should look picture perfect when you're gonna take photos, but not everybody's aware of that, and how do you do that delicately? So that was
Mhm.
really exciting.
And people are gonna not want you to come over who feel like you feel. So you'd want it to be all the way ready. And you want to go the minute they talk about selling, so you can be the first one in their house and you can tell them what that looks like. I actually didn't share something with you guys. So when I get done with all of this, I go back to the kitchen table. I flip my exclusive right to sell over to the last page. And I start writing down. Great. So how long do you guys think this might take? In a perfect world, I love to be able to do photos on Friday or Saturday, so I get it back on Monday. I like to go live on the market Monday night or Tuesday morning so that I can present live in team meeting in front of about 100 different agents. I try to hold off showings on Wednesday and Thursday because it sure sucks to show your house. Okay, so we'll hold off showings Wednesday and Thursday. And then ideally, we're going to show all day long on Friday and hold an open house on Saturday. Does that sound good? So like working with the calendar, do you think we could do something like next week, or it might be 3 months out or whatever it is? And I just look at it and be like, let me just sit for a second, and they might look overwhelmed. And I say, you guys, most of the time people hire me because they just need somebody to hold them accountable. You don't have to hit these deadlines, but I find that people want me to tell them how to make it happen. Okay, so maybe like 3 weeks. Okay, so that's like the 21st. Can we plan on the 21st for photos? Great. And I write down photos the 21st. That means we're going to go live on the market by the 23rd. We're going to do our first showings. You guys can be out of the house on the 25th. That kind, and they start pulling their calendar out and they start working with it. And I just write it all down here. I don't go through the rest of the contract first. I just start with what our plan is. Okay. And they go, yeah, yeah. I'm like, and why don't we do this? Why don't I stop over next week? We'll see how far you guys are. If we need to adjust this, no big deal. Okay. Perfect. Well, that sounds good. You guys ready to put me to work? And I say yes. And we flip it over and we start talking from the beginning. And then that's how I get it signed. Now with this, you also should have, I didn't print one, an MLS exclusion form. Because once you get this signed, you need to be on the MLS, I think within 24 hours. Okay, or else they fine you, I think it's $250. They fined me a couple of times and then I had to be like, no, I sent it to you, I swear. And they took the fine off. But I put one with every single exclusive right to sell that I print. I put that with it because it's likely we're not going to go on the market in 24 hours. I want them to sign this even if it's a year out with an MLS off market or MLS exclusion. Does that make sense? But that's my transition to let's walk around your house and talk about it. Like, so are you guys thinking like maybe next year even? Like I might still be like, cool. And I'll run through what I like to do and be like, you guys may or may not be ready to sign this, but if you are, I can get the back office stuff ready to go. So cool. Next ahas. I just realized there was other stuff I'd tell you. Lucas. Oh, sorry. No, Chris is.
No.
I liked how you said don't be shy to tell them what to take off of their house, because in the end of the day, it's going to help them have a higher price range for their house.
It's your fiduciary duty to tell them. It's good.
I liked trying to create them to be part of your team, like the 3 factors that sell, because 2 of them are their factors: price, condition, and marketing. So I think if you can get them on board, we can do it.
It totally will. And showing them good comparables. Yay. I'm glad you came today.
The 3Ds. That was cool.
What are the 3Ds?
Decluttered, depersonalized, and depersonalized.
And they will, it's so funny. You come back to their house and you're like, we're almost done with the 3Ds.
Yes, yes.
Um,
Should get a magnet to 3Ds.
I like the motivated qualified buyers in the first sentence. So like when they're ready to go on, like that's
And there's a graph that you can show them as well that is probably in one of your listing packets, or I can share it with you. Awesome. Good. I'm so glad. Did we get ahas from everybody?
I just have a question. Do you
Yeah.
think they blame you if you don't say, hey, maybe we should have done X, Y, and Z, and we should have taken these things down, and maybe we should have done these things that would have made it better, or we should.
They may or may not have the understanding. Okay. So when I've gone into houses, because I specialize in houses
No,
that
I
didn't
mean
sell
that-
the first time.
But I mean, if it
Script.
didn't sell.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I mean. So they may or may not know. So I had somebody who I was selling a new construction project, and long story, she was actually in my neighborhood. I didn't know her. I wasn't involved in the culture. And long story short, the people who had listed her house, it didn't sell. Her daughter called me and said, hey, you have to come help my mom. I know you sell houses. So when that listing expired, I came over, and it's same thing. I specialize in houses that don't sell the first time. I'd never ever done that. It's just you can specialize in whatever you want. And I was like, okay, let's talk about what we need to do different. And it was, they didn't tell her that the dog poop needed to be cleaned up. That was a big deal. We needed to take family pictures down, and we needed to price it well. All of those things mattered. So after we got done and sold it, yes, I think she blamed them. Now, if they don't ever sell, they may not know. They may not have the realization unless another person comes in and educates them, because they would have done it if they knew. People don't know. We're smart. We can look at stuff and be like, oh, that's not going to sell. People, they just don't know. I mean, they don't know. It is. It's the quilt that they quilted 50 years ago that's on that bed. And that little teddy bear is what they gave their daughter for their 3rd birthday. And I would just much rather put a white over the top of that and 3 little pillows, and it'll be great. It'll picture well. It'll picture well. Bright colors too. Like there's just different things you guys will learn. Good. So helpful. I think we covered a ton of stuff too. That was my goal today, was to focus on listings. Who got their listing presentation ready to go? Completed. Your picture on there and your info on there.
But now it's.
Okay, so do it and then do it better. Stop feeling like it has to be perfect. Pick one. Print it today.
So it's Westfield, KW Westfield ones that we were using from Canva is like super generic. It's just like a basic listing presentation. And then if you go in the back end of and I feel like those ones, they're super specific. Is there, what is your feedback on that? Like how
Pick something and do it today. That's my first feedback. Is doesn't matter what it is. Put your freaking picture and your contact information on something and print it. So you have one in a folder, buy a $1 folder upstairs and have it in your bag with an exclusive right to sell and an off market. So no matter where you are at, you could do a listing appointment today. Then, so it doesn't matter if it's ugly or it's not the right color or you don't really like what it has to say, do it anyways. Just get that done so you have it. And then go to find one that speaks to you. The challenge is that when we wait, you won't make a listing appointment because you're not ready. You'll be nervous to set the appointment.
At one time, Dean said that when you're first starting, don't make it. Some of them have a lot of pages. What did you say? Some of them are really long, and Dean's advice was to keep it short, something that you can control very first.
And you might not go over all of it, but if you just have a printed listing, a presentation, even if you don't even go through it, I'm encouraging you to do it today because there's 300 agents in this office and you will already be in the top, we'll say 25% if you can have one printed in your bag today. That's our goal. We got to elevate you above the others already. And the next thing is then you can start to look at it and play with it. I went through and redid one and I remember us building it out. I actually just sold red signs at the time. We built that one out and just got it really simple. And then I've redone and redone and redone. They're all kind of the same. You might align with one color versus another. Like there's one that's more grays and I like reds personally. So it makes Alicia crazy because she says it's hard to market with. So she would always probably choose a gray over. I'm like, I like. And so you pick one that is going to work. Then after it's printed and it's done, it's going to cost you $1.50 or $2 to print it. Buy the one. You'll spend $5 on having that complete. And then go to like, how do I actually want this to look? But if we stop and don't do that, you just won't. Like get that done so you can be like, oh, that's done. And then we can go to like, what should it look like? What do I really want to talk about? Do I want something that's just the 3Ds? What do I want in there in mind? What's the most important? Out of everything, reviews, even if you haven't sold houses. I worked with Chris. She's totally trustworthy and I don't know anyone who hustles more than she does or whatever it is. Get whatever that looks like. Get 3 reviews on there. One page that's just like what others are saying or what people say. I don't know, whatever. You can just do reviews, whatever you want to put on there, but you should put something. Did everybody get a copy of the exclusive right to sell? Your guys' homework here as well is to do this like you did your buyer broker agreement last week. Take it home, try to describe it. You guys all have, I give one to you. Try to describe it to your family, okay? It was different probably than what like this class. Good. Hope it was worthwhile. I need to be upstairs at 11. I should have been there at 11, but I have 90 seconds.
90 seconds. My seller financing is up on Wednesday. The loan is to underwriter.
Bye guys. I don't know how to stop that.
What's my conversation with do I call the lender?
Yeah, so when did you say walk with
It's
me?
up on Wednesday at 5 p.m. and the
Wednesday.
underwriter
Great.
The lender keeps telling me everything looks good, blah, blah, blah.
You want to ask, when do you expect to have final loan approval?